Evening everyone and welcome to SUTV Live for Sheffield United's penultimate game of the season away at Huddersfield. The Blades head to the John Smith Stadium with promotion already wrapped up, but one more win will set a new points record at Championship level, which has stood for 17 years. Neil Warnock did it with the Blades in 2006, and tonight he's in the opposing dugout trying to secure Huddersfield's second-tier status. All of the team news is coming up. We'll hear from first-team coach Jack Lester, speak to our two studio guests, and look back at the Player of the Year awards. Kick-off just under 45 minutes away, and for all the match pass information and broadcasting regulations for tonight's match, go to the website sufc.co.uk. Hello again, welcome to our studio here at Bramall Lane. The pressure is off Sheffield United tonight, but they can still have a big say on what happens down at the bottom. The Blades at Huddersfield this evening, a Yorkshire derby, and joining us for this one, two former Blades fullbacks. First of all, good evening, Kevin Gage.
Good evening.
Just checking, no flip-flops, disappointed considering the pressure is off, and no beach shorts for you either. So clearly you still feel there's something at stake tonight. What is the motivation tonight, Kevin?
The motivation from Sheffield United is just to go out and be professional, and it's a local derby and finish the season in style. You just mentioned the points record. I think that's a fantastic achievement if they can get that. So I wasn't aware of that, but that's superb. And I think the atmosphere will make it a good game.
You've been in this situation before, Rob, where the objective has been achieved, yet you've still got games to play. What's the mindset of a player?
I don't think the mindset really changes, but tonight with the opposition manager in Warnock, you'd like to send him into the final day, wouldn't you, just to have some worry on him?
Of course you would. A former manager of yours, of course. We'll speak more about Neil, no doubt, later on. But let's have a look at the team news for this one. And Reading will be pleased to see that Sheffield United have put a strong side out. They owe it, I suppose, to the integrity of the rest of the division as well to do so. Coming back in, Baldock, Egan, Berger and Jebison out. Go Bogle, Ahmed Hodzic, Doyle and Sharp. So that is Sheffield United's starting lineup tonight. Ender Stevens back among the subs. Koulibaly makes it onto the bench as well. Kevin, reaction?
Well, it's one hell of a strong side, isn't it? This is the strength of our squad and the confidence we have in our players, because we're able to make those changes. And you still fancy us strongly to get a result here. I mean, that's a good side, isn't it? And people like Basham, I mean, he wants a new contract, doesn't he? He'll be chomping at the bit. Jefferson, after that fantastic cameo performance on Saturday, he was superb when he came on. McAtee, he's been unbelievably good recently, so he'll just continue in the same vein he's been playing in. Sanderberg, just quality running all the way through the side.
And again, for some of those players, it's another opportunity, is it not, Rob, just to remind the manager, look, I'm here, don't let me go in the summer.
Yeah, it's like fantastic for Jebison. He'll be wanting to play some part next year, wouldn't he, than rather go out on loan. So, no, it's great that Eki's put this side out and he's taking this serious tonight, because, in a way, he needs to get those points.
They've no doubt some of them got holidays booked. So if there's a 50-50 out there to be won tonight, are you going in for it or not? Do you want a broken leg on the flight to Dubai?
No, I think it's always in your mind. You're always going into a tackle fully committed. So if you're not, then you can find yourselves on the other end. But I'd have been the one that had half an eye on the holiday rather than the tackle.
At least you're honest. It can work both ways though, can't it? Because when the pressure is off, you relax a little bit more, you enjoy it, and maybe play your best football in that scenario.
And you only have to look at the Preston game on Saturday to see how that panned out, because I thought Saturday we were magnificent. That one or two players, Njai especially, just playing with all the freedom in the world and the confidence, gained from already getting promotion. And it just filtered all through the team. And it was like a training game in the end, but there was still the intensity of being a professional football game at the top of the Championship. And I think that's what we'll get tonight, because Huddersfield will come out flying. It's a different game for them. They have to get something, obviously. And so that will make the tempo. And then the professional nature of professional footballers will kick in. And however relaxed and calm you feel before the game, as soon as the whistle goes, you'll want to win. You'll want to win those 50-50s if one comes up. And you'll want to take all 3 points.
There will be an edge, and I do recall, I think I'm right in saying that earlier in the season, Neil said he'd like to see Middlesbrough go up automatically. I just wonder whether comments like that might serve as a little bit of motivation as well.
Yeah, I mean that's in what he says and what he means. So Sheffield United going out tonight, they owe Huddersfield absolutely no favour. You're not going there to do anything to get them anywhere, and you're approaching that to come away with 3 points, not looking after Warnock.
And we can't forget the supporters who are making the trip as well.
Yeah.
Do it for them, who'll be no doubt ready to enjoy themselves and party again, but put on a show for them.
I think they're probably partied out, our supporters, aren't they?
Come on, they're Sheffield folk.
Yeah, they've got.
You can never be partied out.
They've got another one on Thursday with an open-top bus ride. So yeah, there's 2 away games, and you can absolutely bet bottom dollar that there'll be 2,500, 3,000 Blades going to Huddersfield and down to Birmingham on Monday.
Well, it was, of course, a joyous occasion here at Bramall Lane on Saturday. The Blades took on Preston in their final home game of the season.
Final home game of the 2022-23 season is underway. Stays at home, and the header is in off the inside of the post. And now Ahmed Horic is on the score sheet again, his second in as many games, and it's his 7th in all competitions, and Sheffield United take the lead. Norwood, that's a decent strike. He scored a free kick against Blackburn right at the start of the season from a similar area. James McAtee gets the second half underway. Ledson had a few sighters, but he's picked out Potts here, who's in a good position. That's a good ball in, and Preston have an equaliser, and it's Delap, the substitute, scores against United again. He's first for Preston North End, and the Lily Whites are level. He's got support, lovely little ball. John Fleck for Sheffield United. Fleck takes a deflection.
Yes.
It's there. John Fleck's first of the season. Look what it means to him in front of the Kop. It was a generous deflection, but there's no doubt that's going to be his goal. And United are back in front. He's caused all kinds of problems since he's come off the bench. He's away down this right-hand side. Look at Njai in the middle. Iliman Njai. Wonderful again from Sheffield United. Another assist for Daniel Jefferson and another goal for Iliman Njai. Sheffield United, star man of the campaign. The Blades have a 3-1 lead. Bernie rising. Fleck. Lovely touch from Norwood. Basham. McBurney.
Oh, what a strike.
There's the gloss. Ollie McBurney, the substitute, gets in on the act as well.
An excellent win there for Sheffield United, the game after they'd secured promotion in the week. Afterwards, we spoke to Daniel Jefferson about the game and, of course, a day to remember.
The atmosphere, you know, outside of there on the pitch when we're playing, they give us, you know, like an ego boost on the pitch, but it was great, the atmosphere. It was good.
And to get everyone's family out there and take on the lap of honour, scenes that, you know, you'll never forget, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, these moments, as players, you cherish them. So it's good to have your family there, your supporters, even your loved ones at home. They're all watching you, and you do this for yourself and the people around you, so it was great.
And the game itself, Preston obviously still had something to play for, so it was a very professional performance from Sheffield United today.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be tough regardless if we won. If we got promoted, we know that already, but the most important thing is to finish strong. And even if they make it difficult for us, it's up to us to, you know, change the game.
It seems to be a real desire from the boys to sign off at home with a win today.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Gaffer was talking about it in the changing room before we went out, like last home game. You know, we need to finish strong for you guys, the crowd, and for ourselves as well.
And your contribution, you like a man on a mission when you came off the bench. How pleased are you with your performance?
Yeah, I'm pleased, man. I just try to, whatever minutes I get, I just try my hardest. You know, sometimes it doesn't go your way, but I just learn from it. You know, I just try to do my best, and I'm proud.
Well, they could have been forgiven for being a little bit sluggish at the weekend. Far from it. Sheffield United determined to sign off at home in style. Great shots. There's Paul Heckingbottom with the trophy that some pundits and the national media have questioned, despite the fact that that trophy has been handed out for many, many years now. And why pundits don't realise that, I've no idea, but they shall remain nameless. Chris Sutton, Robbie Savage, people like that. But great for the players to be able to celebrate occasions like this with their families, little tots there in the full kit and all that kind of thing. And days to remember, you've been there, haven't you? The pair of you have tasted promotions, and that's what it's all about, being with your family and loved ones on occasions like that in front of the supporters, surely.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, I was in the crowd watching, I was close to the families on the far side, and it was wonderful to see. It really was, kind of brought a lump to your throat. And I have to say, Sheffield United put on a fantastic show. You know, the after-game show with announcing the players to the crowd and responding on all the songs, it was quite something to behold.
Yeah,
and rightly so, after they put in, you know, so much work in the season.
Sadly, I couldn't be here. I was watching Reading against Wigan for my sins on Saturday, which, wasn't quite as joyous. And Jack Lester, we're going to hear from him a little bit later on. Stuart McCall, we've seen in the pictures as well. It shouldn't go unmentioned. And to be fair, we have highlighted those two. But it's a dynamic that just seems to work really well, doesn't it? I think Jack works a lot with the strikers. You've got the steady Eddie, if you like, in Stuart McCall to assist the manager. That's a trio that's served them well, isn't it?
It's a great blend. I mean, Amaka was here when I played, wasn't he? And Jack, I travelled with Jack for years. And you look at the pictures on there, on my boys' bedroom wall at the minute, the open-top bus going through town is still on their wall. I mean, it will stay on their wall forever. We made a book, didn't we, Sheffield United, to commemorate the day. I mean, all the kids are in the book, so the memories that these pictures mean a lot when you look back.
And the celebrations that followed. And in fairness, not too much has been leaked out in terms of photographs and things like that. The odd one or two, couple of bars in town where the lads gathered, but not like the last time when Chris was here. And it was absolute carnage, wasn't it? Paul Coots, I think, got kicked out the Crucible at one point, and Chris Basham puffing on a vape and all that kind of stuff has been made famous as well. But there's a bond there, isn't there? When you achieve promotion with your mates, which in effect they all are mates, there's a bond there, and that'll never, ever disappear, will it?
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, Chris and Hecky seem to be total opposite characters as people, but I think behind the scenes, they've got exactly the same mentality in getting that squad together. I was going to use the word united, which is probably the exact word to use. But you're right when you say that, the bond that these players will have, not just for this season, but moving on through the years. I mean, I'm still in WhatsApp groups with the old Wimbledon team, you know. You
still have get-togethers even now, don't you?
40 years ago, yeah. And that same with you guys, I'm
we've
sure.
got the WhatsApp group with we still speak to Monty, even though he's in Australia. So it's just like the day you left, you're still speaking to him.
What were the celebrations like when you clinched it under Neil here?
Yeah, we were all at the training ground, weren't we, waiting on but then you go into town and then the scenes, they're just mad, aren't they? Because everyone just comes out of their houses.
You've got to love that, though, haven't you?
It's just fantastic, yeah. On the day of the open-top bus, it did get stuck on the bottom of the car park.
Did it?
Yeah, but then Kev Cookson got off and everyone was on. No, it did, and they broke down, so... They're just memories, aren't they? They're brilliant.
Yeah, well, these players have got it to look forward to next Thursday. It's happening.
Yeah, all over again. Yeah, let's hope no one falls off the bus, or Kieran Freeman doesn't nearly fall off the balcony. What he did.
Just keep Stuart McCall away from any kind of car roofs.
What was also nice is we actually gained promotion here at Bramall Lane because of our victory. Whereas in previous years, I think it's been because of other results, haven't we? And the players have got together in various bars, you know, to watch it, etc. So it was nice to achieve it all together with the fans here because of our win.
Yeah, Jebison, just quickly on him before we move on, had a massive impact, didn't he, when he came on from the bench? A couple of assists.
Yeah, he's made a few, had a few minutes as sub, but hasn't really promoted himself too well. He's been a bit clumsy and awkward, but when he came on Saturday, he was absolutely superb, running into the channels and using his body. I mean, he's 6'2" and he's quick, and he seems to be a bit stronger and using his body better when he came on. So hopefully he can continue in that vein.
Let's have a glance at the league table. We know how it's going to look. Sheffield United are going to be second with a P next to their name. Burnley, of course, champions. Looks great. And all the others below, the likes of Luton, Middlesbrough, Coventry, Millwall, Sunderland, West Brom, Blackburn, have a few more worries to come, don't they, with those playoffs coming. I think 5 teams are competing for 2 playoff spots there. It's going to be a dramatic final day, and Sheffield United can sit back, relax, and watch it all unfold, I suppose.
That's the best thing, isn't it? Sitting there and watching the final day with no pressure on you, because that'll change probably 4 or 5 times on the day, won't it?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, and it's good to see who should have been in there, who's not in there, but no, I'm glad we're not in it.
It's going to be interesting to see who joins Burnley and Sheffield United in the Premier League next season. And recent form, you know, a team that has been questioned from outside the club when they had that bit of a wobble, but you cannot argue with that. The Burnley game, I know we've mentioned it before, I don't read too much into that given the circumstances of that, but win, 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 win since. A couple of 4-goal hauls in there as well against Cardiff and Preston. It's not bad, is it? Not bad going at all.
Yeah, it's exceptional. We put our foot on the accelerator, didn't we? We had the reverse against Middlesbrough at home, which shocked everybody. Middlesbrough's still the best side I've seen down here by a country mile. And then I think a week later or 10 days later, we had Luton, who also beat us 1-0, and we were all getting a bit jittery. But since then, we've just hit the ground running and really, really cracked on.
Well, hopefully the Blades can pick up another win on their travels tonight. Only a short journey to Huddersfield. And then it's a relatively short journey on the final day of the season for the Blades. They'll sign off for good at Birmingham, and you can follow that with us. We're on air from 2 o'clock. As you can see, both sets of players out there going through their warm-up routines ahead of kick-off, which is at 7:45. And earlier in the campaign when these two sides met, it was the first game back after the World Cup when Billy Sharp's solitary strike secured all 3 points.
The championship is back underway. Sheffield United looking to maintain their form from just before the break. 4 wins from 5 have got them back inside the top 2. It's the near post area. Comes for Osborne. Flicks around the corner. Can Sharp get something on this? He can. It's a lovely play from McAtee. McAtee still going here. McAtee's open up for him. Great block. Space here for Njayi. Takes the invitation to come into the box. Shot from distance from Ollie Norwood. Njayi rides a couple of challenges. I think Leeds actually took out his own man. Here's Billy Sharp, chance for the first of the season for the skipper, and he accepts the invitation, and United are in front. It's been a long wait for Billy Sharp, but wonderful finish after great work from Njayi, and United lead Huddersfield by 1-0. Lots of time here for McAtee to pick out an effort. He's headed over the bar. Second half is back underway. Can United go on and complete the job here? This is where we want him. Njayi into the area. Eliminate Njayi. Straight at the keeper. Lovely flick from the Bosnian. Back to Bolok. Ahmad Oric now into the penalty area for United. Can he get a second bite of it? He can't. Usual protagonist up from the back. In goes the corner. A lot of shirt pulling there, and it was Egan coming onto it. Both sides appealing for this. Deep one. A lot of pushing and shoving in the area. Appeals from the Sheffield United supporters, mainly for a penalty there. So much going off. Here's Kadra.
Drop.
And still, Kadra into the area. Deflection on the effort. Burnley jostling in there. There's the header. Footing by Osborne. Kadra with the spin. Rida Kadra still going. Is there end product? He finds McBurney. And then Berger fires over. There is the full-time whistle. Sheffield United have got over the line. Look at the Huddersfield players.
Yes, that was the outcome of the meeting earlier in the season between these two teams. As for the team news tonight, Sheffield United 4 changes from that win over Preston at the weekend. Baldock, Egan, Berger and Jebison are back in. As you can see, Ender Stevens makes a welcome return to the bench. Koulibaly is on there as well. Jebison continues alongside Illiman and Jai up front. The Blades looking to complete their first league double over Huddersfield since 1960-61, would you believe? And Huddersfield, as for them, their form over the last 5 games is like this. I was there at that Watford game. That was some game, that. They went a goal down and ended up winning it by 3-2. They blew a 2-goal lead against Blackburn to draw 2-2. Lost at Swansea, came back to draw at Sunderland and won at Cardiff last time out. He's clearly had the effect that many thought he'd have, Neil Warnock, Rob.
Yeah, he's put the fight back into Huddersfield because everybody would have said, aren't they? They're gone. I mean, I went to watch him a few times when he joined there. And still, after his first day, you're thinking he's got an absolute task on his hand.
Yeah.
And to need a point, that's how the job is done well.
They were only off the bottom of the table on goal difference when he first walked through the door. I don't know how he does it. We shouldn't be surprised anymore, but he just delivers time and time and time again. And as he says, he only works for 2 months of the year now. He just waits for the phone call, in he comes, and the rescue mission starts all over again. He did it at Rotherham, he's done it loads of times. There he is, look, still got a great passion and energy for the game, hasn't he?
Yeah, there won't be too many tactical meetings, will there? It won't no kind of Pep Guardiola innovations or anything like that. It's just down to damned hard work and motivating players and finding out who's with you and who's against you and getting people on board. And because he knows everything better than me, but very similar to the manager I played with him, everybody knows here at Sheffield United, and Dave Bassett, very similar, methods of working. Just everybody in it together, getting everybody, getting the spirit right behind the scenes, getting the dressing room right, and everybody going out and giving 100%. It's not rocket science, and you've got people like Sam Allardyce getting a job, in the last week at Leeds, trying to do a Neil Warnock for Leeds.
Yeah, it's funny, Neil did say, he said that if Huddersfield had been safe at the weekend, he half expected Leeds to give him the call, which is just classic Neil, really, isn't it? I expect nothing less. He's nominated for the Manager of the Month award for April, along with Paul Heckingbottom, Rob Edwards and Russell Martin, I think, are the other two. So, again, that shows you just how well he's done. What is the secret, Rob? What does he do so well? We hear this phrase, man management, all the time. What does that look like?
I think Gagey was there. He goes in, doesn't he, and sees who he can rely on. Now, he's gone into this Huddersfield squad, and he needs probably 8 players that he knows tonight what they're going to give him.
Yeah.
If he goes in there at the start and he don't exactly know that squad, it takes a few games for him to get used to it. So he does know who will run through fire for him. And when he was here, we all ran through fire for each other. So that's how he gets his rewards. He gets the players on side, and I mean, he'll love the players, and they'll love him back by the end of it.
And he can make you feel 10 feet tall, can't he?
I certainly can, and I can't even remember him taking Huddersfield to Cornwall. So, so he's done something different.
Yeah, I can recall the time you were at Scarborough, had you running into the sea at Scarborough, those kind of things. You enjoy that at the time?
Oh, they're just brilliant, aren't they? Because it's just team bonding in a way, and he made a few quid out of the hotels as well.
And the pre-season trips to Cornwall, no less, which is handy given that that's where he resides these days.
Yeah, I went to, in my time, I must have been away 10 years, so in the time I was down Cornwall more than the local Seagulls. So I did have some spells down there on the golf courses. Yeah.
It's good to have characters like this in the game, isn't it?
Yeah,
Don't you think? I know he has his critics outside, but the game's different without him in it, and people like Allardyce as well. I know people say, "Oh, dinosaurs passed it," all that kind of stuff. But you want people like that in the game, don't you?
Are they a dying breed? I mean, I don't know. You kind of get all these identikit, FA coach stroke managers these days. All wear the same gear off the pitch, and there's no, as you say, characters maybe anymore. They're a dying breed. Whether we'll see the likes of Allardyce and Warnock and Bassett and others like him in the future, we don't know.
He said that this will be. He said that this will be his biggest achievement to date if he keeps Huddersfield in the Championship. Where have I heard it before that? Was it at Sheffield United, Rotherham, Cardiff, Plymouth, Notts County? He says it everywhere he goes. He knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Listen, he'll probably be saying it next season.
Yeah, more than likely.
I just hope it's not with Sheffield United about March.
I can't make fun of him too much. I'm in the process of doing some theatre tours with him at the moment. To be fair, wherever he goes, he's so well received. Fans love him. They'd love to hear his stories. And boys, he got some. And if you've not been to the theatre show yet, do try and go. I know this is a bit of a shameless plug, but if for nothing else, you go, because there's a part in the show where he sits in a big armchair and he's written a poem about his career. All right?
He's written the poem.
He's written the poem, and it lasts for 8 minutes. But he's going to have to revise it and add some more on for the Huddersfield chapter, especially if he keeps them up. Okay? That's it. That's all I'm going to tell you. But he sits in a leather chair, high-backed, for 8 minutes and does a poem
he went to
about his
my
life.
Wedding, Warnock did, and he wrote a poem at my wedding while I was sat there, yeah. And I've got it on the downstairs toilet, this wedding.
Any good?
This poem. Yeah, it was a fantastic poem.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it about you?
He
or
was
a
the best
general
man I'm putting out there.
Was it about you, or was it about being married
family,
in general?
About the day,
really?
about my wife and everything. He just wrote it while he was there and read it.
So did he ring you up for info about the family then beforehand,
No,
or did he know it all anyway?
Just from the speeches and everything.
Wow.
They're related. He's his son.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, you did have a special relationship with him, didn't you?
I cannot put that on record, but I was not. I was always getting dropped, so how'd you work that one out?
I know for a fact that you were one of his favourites at the time. Everyone needs a cosy in the dressing room, is what he always used to say. I've lost my thread now. Where were we? Yeah, they need a point tonight to remain in the Championship. We can have a look at Huddersfield's team, I think. A couple of changes. Edmonds Green and Kasumu come in. Ruffles and Diarra are the two that go out. I mean, Neil doesn't even know Romani Edmonds Green as Romani Edmonds Green because he can't remember his name. He just calls him Reg. And again, that's just another Neil Warnock-ism, if you like. They're going to come out with a real edge, aren't they, tonight? Yeah, they are going to be flying out the blocks.
100%. I mean, forget the fact it's in a relegation battle. It's also a local derby, of course. So, you know, there's an added bit of spice to it as well. But they're going to be absolutely flying. So we go back from a Sheffield United point of view. We can't take our foot off the accelerator at all. We have to go out there and produce a performance. Otherwise, if we're not at 100% and playing our best game and playing the Sheffield United game, they're just going to roll us over as well.
Ones to watch. A few that you might want to look out for tonight. Michal Helik, from a Barnsley player, Polish international. He's been central, really, to Huddersfield's form at the back, improving alongside Tom Lees. Jonathan Hogg, fine servant to the club, 10th year with them now, a warrior, a club legend, as he's described. Jack Radoni, playing a slightly different role now, playing in a deeper role. Hadn't scored since Neil arrived, but got 2 in 2 over Easter. Josh Koroma, a left winger on loan at Portsmouth earlier in the season, but again, Neil's managed to get the best out of him. And then Danny Ward, who he's made no secret of his love for, having had him at Rotherham, a tireless worker, not a prolific goal scorer, but he'll run the channels all day long and has the capability of causing problems. So just some of the names that you might want to keep an eye out there. Someone who wasn't on that graphic is Matty Pearson, who's been in terrific goal scoring form of late. I can't remember what his goal ratio is, but he's been banging them in left, right and centre, hasn't he?
He scored 2 in the one game, and then he's got 4 goals in probably his last 5. But I mean, what he's done to Matty Pearson, I don't know. He's the WD-40 did him a lot.
He's written him a poem.
Yeah, that's probably what he's done, an inspirational poem.
Must have invited him to his wedding.
Right, that's enough of Huddersfield for now. After the Preston game, of course, it was the Sheffield United Player of the Season Awards. Sounds like I missed out on quite a bash. We caught up with manager Paul Heckingbottom first to get his review of the season.
There can be good times like end of season dues and play the year dues, but they are far better when you've won something. And for us to have achieved our goal, which is a promotion, to have got to an FA Cup semi-final, yeah, it will go down in the club as one of the best seasons.
Where do you start when you look back at this season, from bringing in a 19-year-old James McAtee, who's named Young Player of the Year, to Iliman Ndiaye, who finishes as the Player of the Year, the Players' Player of the Year, and wins the Golden Boot as well? You cover the full spectrum, really.
I've been lucky working. I got to know these players, a lot of the senior players, a couple of years ago in the Premier League, and then to work with this group for the last 18 months. There's some real good players in there. Those 2 young players in particular you mentioned, we had Tommy Doyle into that, and other young players who made the debuts. We've had the most league debuts from academy players under 20 in the Football League. It's a really good achievement and a really good reflection on the club. And I'm never scared to put the young lads in, but you've got to be good enough. And we've got some good talent, but we've also got some good senior players who help that talent develop and become part of a team and teach them how to win and teach them what it's like to compete for minutes, to compete for games. And those young players you're speaking about, plus our young ones in the academy, will have learnt a hell of a lot from this season.
Just finally, the message to the fans, is this as good as it gets, or is there more still to come?
Listen, this season's been special. For lots of reasons. Yes, we've had a promotion. Yes, we've been to an FA Cup semi-final. But I think there's certainly been a connection, a reconnection, if you like, which started last year. The fans with the players with the fans, but probably more importantly, the football club with the community. And yeah, I think I've felt that a lot tonight, speaking to the fans. And it's been nice to get and to hear how much they appreciate the efforts. I think that's all you need as a football fan. You just want to know that everybody who works for your football club, represents your football club, is giving the best that they can.
The goal, which epitomised drama of the occasion and a bit of star quality to match, went to Tommy Doyle for his strike in the FA Cup against Blackburn Rovers.
Sander Berger. Berger will look to cross in. We haven't seen the board for the additional minutes. Back to Doyle out of his...
Yeah, it's obviously very special. It was a great moment, one that I'll probably never forget. And yeah, to send the Blades to Wembley was obviously amazing. I just remember it coming back to me and then just thinking, you know, it's perfect. And obviously I had a good touch, and then yeah, I just trusted my technique, and yeah, thankfully it went in. The goal was to get promotion, and that's what we've done. And you know, we never thought about a trip to Wembley, and you know, we got there as well. So a promotion and a trip to Wembley is perfect. I've really enjoyed it. It's been amazing playing in front of the fans, you know, at Bramall Lane and even away. You know, it's been something really special, and you know, I can only thank them for how they've been with me. I'm not sure who it's for, but you know, I can only say that I love it here, and yeah, you never know. We'll see what happens.
His outstanding contribution on loan from Manchester City, this season's Young Player of the Year was named as James McAtee.
To be fair, I didn't think I'd win anything. I thought Illy was going to win anything, so I don't know what to say really. I'm speechless. Everyone knows at the start I was struggling a little bit, and then luckily Eki trusted me, backed me all the way, and I kicked on and shown what I can do. I think it was just me getting comfortable in the team, getting used to it, and just getting used to playing Championship football really. The team, they treat me like family. They've looked after me from day one, even when I wasn't doing so well. So I couldn't ask for anything better. It only comes around, like, maybe for me, once in a lifetime. So I don't know. I have to celebrate as much as I can.
Doyle and McAtee picking up a couple of awards there at the Player of the Year do last weekend. As loan spells go, couldn't have gone much better for the pair of them, could it?
Dream loan for both of them, wasn't it? And the way the season's unfolded, and they've both come on as players. I mean, that's the idea of the loan system, isn't it? To progress as a person, as a player. And those two have come on leaps and bounds. Doyle's done his bits and bobs. He got injured at the start, has forced his way in the team. And to displace Norwood, by the way, that's some doing, because Norwood's had a great season. And McAtee, I mean, we don't need any more superlatives to describe him. He scored some crucial goals as well. Not just his performances, but absolutely crucial goals at times where we've just been struggling to get a foothold in the game. And he's just provided that little bit of quality at the right time. Just a flash of inspiration. And, you know, as I say, it just got us back in the game, or just got us ahead in games.
How do you assess what they've done?
I think looking at it from a recruitment side is you've seen Doyle, who had games under his belt at Cardiff, so he wasn't as much of a gamble as McAtee. You know they've got quality, but bringing them both in at the same time, whereas McAtee speaks there, I think he's chose the right environment, the right crowd to actually, when he wasn't having a great start, wasn't he? They've put their arm around him and they've loved him, and then that's what's made him kick on. So it is about choosing the right club, and I think that's an advert for youngsters coming through the game nowadays, is you make sure you get the loan right.
Two players who've enjoyed terrific seasons. Another, of course, is a certain Iliman Ndiaye, who picked up the Player of the Year, the Golden Boot, and perhaps the most special was the Players' Player.
Iliman Ndiaye taking home his second award of the night. The Players' Player of the Year award is particularly special to the winner because it's voted for by his teammates.
Obviously, they've seen what obviously I've done this season, and obviously getting the recognition from them means a lot to me. Obviously, I'll never forget it. So yeah, it's just amazing. I'm excited. I just can't wait. See, that's why I play football. That's why everyone else plays football. This team. That's why we work so hard to get there. So yeah, we're just all excited.
Top class. Iliman, if you're listening to this, which you aren't, but if you're watching it back on YouTube, please stay next season. Please stay, because he's been an absolute pleasure to watch. And he should be a role model now, shouldn't he, to other young kids here at the Academy who want a career in football to follow. He's shown that it can be done with hard work and persistence, and my God, he's done well this season.
He's had an unconventional rise to the top, hasn't he? Non-league football, Boreham Wood. Yeah. He was here at United for 18 months, didn't really get a look in. Couldn't agree a contract. You know, a young lad, hardly getting a game, hardly getting any minutes. All of a sudden, parachuted into the side. He had Morgan Gibbs-White to compete with last year, and he just hit the ground running as soon as he got in the side last year. And I'm on record, by the way, as saying that this season was going to be a big one for him. Look back at the tapes.
Oh, we will do. Don't worry, we will. I mean, he's just improved every element of his game, hasn't he? And it was great to see him posing for pictures with some of the young kids on the pitch when we were here for the promotion-winning game the other night and at the weekend as well. Kids are going to look up to players like that. Can they keep him, though? That's the key, isn't it?
I think having gone up, it's the best chance ever to keep him. But like you say, on the pictures the other day around the ball boys and that, it's just great to see that he's never going to like lose. He's rooted into. He's a kid that you say has got the great story coming through, and he's worth the admission alone just to come and watch him on his day because he's fantastic. Yeah.
Best memory of one of his performances this season? Goals?
The individual goal, I think, when he ran the length of the pitch, similar to the goal against Fulham, was it Blackburn or someone, where he's gone the length of the pitch and then side-footed it in at the near post. But every time he gets the ball, he literally gets you off the edge of your seat, and you're thinking, what's he going to do with it now? And his close control is unbelievable. Yeah. The most gifted player I've seen down here in my 30 years up here, and as a player and a fan.
He'd be a nightmare to defend against, wouldn't he?
Obviously, Gage, you never saw me play, but I'll send you some videos.
You'd hate to play against him, wouldn't you? Because he doesn't play in one single position, as it were. He likes to float, he drops in, he goes wide.
Yeah, I think I go and watch like the players in recruitment and I say, oh, he can play on the M1 at rush hour because he just gets himself out of situations you think he can't get out there, and he does, doesn't he? So, I mean, the player's player as well, isn't he? It's the respect of the players. He deserves the credit.
Did you ever get that?
I think I did once, yeah.
Did you? What, here?
Yeah.
Players Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Rob Kozluk?
1990.
I think we definitely need to go back through the archives to check out that.
I've got the trophy.
Gagey?
Yeah.
In the garage.
1995 Player of the Year and Players Player of the Year.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, excuse my ignorance. That's quite an honour, isn't it? To be voted for by your peers like that.
There you go.
Oh, look at him now. He's not going to give me any more.
You asked.
Right, OK. What I am going to ask you for, though, is your prediction for tonight before you jet off and do commentary.
Yeah, I always have confidence that we have enough quality in our side not to lose a game of football, and I think we're better than Huddersfield, and I don't think we'll lose. So I'm going to say a draw.
Oh, that'll be enough for Huddersfield. They'd take that now. Rob, don't give us yours yet.
No.
We'll keep people hanging on for Rob's prediction. He's a bit too keen here. He's not been in for a while. Right, before we do get Rob Kozluk's prediction for tonight's game, which is what you've all tuned in for, we'll hear from first-team coach Jack Lester, who's reacquainted with his former manager tonight, Neil Warnock.
Yeah, I've bumped into him a couple of times this year already. He's been out doing games and doing the media side of things, and he's extremely experienced. I really enjoy playing for him. He's we had some good times here, and he had some good times here. And I know he'll be clear instructions what they want them to do and how he expects them to play, and it'll be an extremely competitive game.
How does he do it though? Because I think most people looked at Huddersfield and thought this is even a job too far for Neil, and yet here they are with a great chance of staying up.
Yeah, I think he makes players feel good, makes them feel confident about the game, and keeps things very simple. And there's an art to that. I don't think anybody could just make people feel good and keep things simple. You need to know what bits you're keeping simple and break down the whole thing into little bite-sized bits of information that gel. So yeah, he's had success in his division time and time again, and no one's that surprised that they've pulled away.
And finally, does the opportunity to set a points record in this division for Sheffield United really spur this team on?
It never ends, does it? So you need to get off to a good start. You need a good middle of the season. Then we're looking to hopefully cement the playoffs. Then we're getting promoted, and now there's something else, and that'll never change, So I think naturally, with how competitive we are, how competitive the players are, you're always looking what else can be achieved. And so yeah, we're aware of it. I would say job done in terms of the promotion. It doesn't feel like there's the pressure on it like there was a few weeks ago. And we talked about it a couple of games ago, and we've won those, and we've played well. And listen, we're wanting to win football matches, and that won't change. So yeah, does it come with the same pressure as the promotion? No, it doesn't. But would it be nice? Of course.
Jack Lester, a high stores school graduate, just like me. So where did I go wrong? He was in the year above and bullied us all whilst we were playing football. He did. Ran rings around us. That's Jack Lester. Good to see him back here at Bramall Lane. He's done a fine job this season. You played with him. You were part of the squad. good memories of Jack?
Jack's one of the best, yeah. I mean, they don't make them like Jack no more. I mean, I travelled with him for years. He lived in Nottingham.
Here we go.
No, I'm not
We're
saying
waiting for it. We're all waiting for it with bated breath.
There was rumours that Warnock brought his daughter in to work in the shop just so Jack could bring her in from Nottingham. And that's the only reason Jack signed for Sheffield, just to bring his daughter in. Natalie.
He's dropping him in left, right and centre here tonight, and he's got some questions to answer you after we've done with this broadcast. But clearly he's had an impact on the strikers as well. I think, you know, it's not gone unnoticed that there's been a definite change in the strikers since Jack took that role on. As the teams begin to wander out of the John Smith Stadium so quickly, Rob, your prediction, please, for Huddersfield Town against Sheffield United.
I think if the Blades apply themselves right on the night, the result will take care of itself. I can't see Huddersfield.
Big atmosphere. It is a massive game for Huddersfield. You'll recognise the guy in the opposing dugout tonight. Neil Warnock trying to keep Huddersfield in the Championship. He needs a point to do it, but Sheffield United chasing a win that would set a new points record at Championship level that was set by the aforementioned Neil Warnock. Let's hand you over to your commentary team, Kevin Gage and Matt Young.
Thank you, Paul. Well, it's the penultimate game of what has been another memorable season as United look to close out the campaign by extending their winning league run to 5 matches.